Hi everybody, it's crazy. It's Memorial Day, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trust because you guys rock. To my crazy fam, I love you guys. And to all you veterans out there, thank you for your service. Now, we're up to episode number 67, and we left off on page 59 last week with getting your hands dirty. Okay, so if you go over to the file called tutorial idle 4 shape key, okay, shape keys driver.blend, then you'll be able to continue on from right here. Okay, so I'm going to read on. With the armature ready to pose, you can complete the idle animation. Once things are set, there is no need to worry about anything but the armature poses. Take the previous file and create the complete cycle. Our attempt of a fun idle animation can be seen on the book file. Chapter 4, tutorial idle 5.action.blend. So let's go over to that real quick. Let me get my mouse. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna go to open. If I can find out where my cursor's at. Okay, and this is the one we're going to get right here, which is action.blend. And as you see, it's there. So if we hit play right now, because we are in the game engine, if we hit play, this is what it'll look like. Okay, that's the one that they made. Okay, yours should just look something like that. Alright? So the animation is not yet set to play in the game engine, but you can play it back in the 3D view. Also remember to change the end frame in your render panel to match the playback of your animation cycle. This will not affect the game engine, but it will help you preview your work in Blender. Okay, after the tutorial section, you can check out the idle and walking animation made by Maurice, especially for this book. In the meantime, enjoy our take on Moo Moo, the happiest monkey in the world. Okay, now, wiring up the logic bricks. So, what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this out a little bit. We're going to come over here and we're going to hit N, because I hope you brought that file up. Maybe? If not, well, that's what you need to do. And this right here is the logic editor. This is where we were last, this is what you're going to be working in right now. Okay, so it says change the always sensor to a keyboard sensor with the key set to W. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the always sensor. We're going to come up here to keyboard. We're going to hit where it says key. You're going to put in W, because you press on it, it says press the key. You hit W. Up here where it says keyboard, okay, you're going to put key W. Okay. So that lets you know, it reminds you that you're going to be using this to hit key W. So if you shrink it up, now you know what the keyboard's going to do if you hit key W. Okay? And you connect it up. Boop. There we go. Okay? Add a property sensor to check whether the frame property is between 39 and 40. Set invert and turn on positive and negative pulse modes. Okay, so we're going to do a property sensor. There we go. And we're going to do both of these. That's what it just said to do. Okay, and it's going to check. We'll have to scroll down a little bit on that one. Okay. Property sensor check whether the property is the frame property. So if we go to frame, that's the property we're looking for, is in between the values of 39. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just 39, but I don't know if you could put 2 in there. Okay. Set invert and turn on positive and negative pulse mode. So we got to put it on invert. Okay, and we're going to set these two. We're going to hit minimize. We're also going to connect that up. Right? Okay, connect the property sensor to the motion actuator. Actually, we're going to take that loose. Okay. Motion actuator, move forward. Okay, so that's this one right here. Now, I do believe if you hit Control and then your left mouse button, you'll see it on a little knife. You can cut that loose. I don't think we need that on there. It didn't say to, but let's leave it on there first, and then we'll take it off maybe. Okay, these changes can be seen in. Yeah, so you leave it connected. Okay, I'm going to switch over so you can see it. Okay, so this is what your deal should look like, and it doesn't have. I don't have a minimum maximum. Oh, because I didn't put it on interval. Okay, so instead of equal, we're going to put it on interval. That will change it between 39 and 40. That means we'll have it right now. And then, of course, you have an AND controller, and you got a motion, the motion actuator. Okay, so if we switch back to here, you'll see I've actually fixed it. So you can leave it just property because it's just a property sensor if you want. They put action is not over. You can put that on there if you'd like. You know. And not over. There. Okay. A lot of people use lowercase. I do uppercase lettering. I don't know why. Okay. So, all right. What you are going to do here first is to set the action to play when the W key is pressed. Since the action actuator is set to loop end, the animation will still play for a few more frames. In order to make Moo keep moving forward, you need to keep the motion actuator active until the frame plays. Frame played is not the final 40. That way, when you release the key, you ensure that Moo animation is in the beginning of its animation cycle, ready to blend with the idle action. Okay, now that all is let me reread that. Now all that is left to be done is to play the idle action when Moo is not walking. Add a NOR controller connected to the keyboard and a property and connect it to the new action actuator. So I'm going to switch over here. The action actuator and the final logic bricks can be seen in this picture here I'm getting ready to show you. The explanation for the parameter follows. Okay, so let me come over here real quick, and we're going to hit kick off 7. There we go. Okay, so you're going to be adding this little guy here. Okay, oh no, that's the same one. Oh, okay, let's cancel. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in a NOR. I'm going to have to bring this up a little bit. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I'm going to bring that up a little higher. Okay, so for the keyboard, I'm going to bring in a NOR sensor. Or a NOR controller, I'm sorry. Strike that, reverse it. Okay, and one from the property sensor, which will go into it. And we're going to add another action actuator. We're going to hit loop stop. We're going to have it on idle. Okay, we're going to start at frame 1 and end at frame 160. They did a blend in of 11, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do priority 2. We'll explain all this here in just a minute. No layer weight, and then frame property, we ain't going to do either one. We're going to connect that up like so, and we're going to call that action idle. IDLE. Okay, so that's what it should look like. And if we switch back over to here, I just got that done, just added them in. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to open up a NOR sensor, You're going to bring one from the keyboard to the NOR and one from the property to the NOR. And then you're going to create a new action. Okay. You're going to go to loop stop. You're going to set idle. You're going to have the start frame at 1, end frame at 160. You're going to blend in 11. And you're going to set priority to 2. Okay. We'll explain all this here in just a few seconds. Okay. So playback type is going to be loop stop. We'll make the action loop until the keyboard sensor is active. It will stop immediately after. Okay. Priority 2, it has to be higher than the walking action actuator. Lower priority actions have precedence over higher ones. Okay, so you want to set it to 2. Start and end frame 1 and 160. The range of your animations, of course. Blend in. If the pose of the initial frame of the idle animation is the same as the walking, you don't need to blend them. Blend 0. Otherwise, this parameter will make the transition smooth. Okay. Continue. Okay, so where's continue at? Oh, continue. Okay, make sure your continue is always on. You want actually, I'm sorry. You want to turn that off. Okay. You want the animation to start over from frame 1 every time you stop walking. Okay, so if you have this to continue, it will continue on the animation from where you left off, which will look really screwed up. Turn it off, so that way it will start from the first part of your animation cycle. Okay, so tutorial idle 6 idle walk forward.blend will be the file that we're going to go to, but I'm curious if I did it right. So let's go ahead and grab this and pull it down. In newer versions of Blender, they actually, I think, fixed this a little bit to where it's not so ginchy going through these, but just the way it is. Okay, so now if I hit play, he stands there and he does his idle animation. But if I hit W, he starts walking. If I stop, he starts doing idle animations. See? No matter where I stop at, okay, so you can have your character walk and idle at the same time. Okay, let's hit escape to come out of that. Now let's go over to the file and get the file that they wanted us to look at, which is the idle walk forward blend. Okay, that's what we were just looking at. Okay, now if you noticed at the end when we closed it before, it had frame and it only went up to frame 40. Okay, because that's what you needed for the first one. Okay, the other one didn't need a game property. Okay, now you see all these are set. Okay, and they're all put in, and we explained the reason. So let's hit play on this one, and it does the same thing. Okay, now if we hit W, character walks, he stops. He walks, he stops. Okay, you notice there's a little bit of a pause there, right? Okay, see, to get that little bit of a pause. That little bit of pause is what that 11 does. Okay, then you blend 11. Okay. All right. So, how many bricks does it take to turn Moo? So we're up to 13 minutes. I'm going ahead and end it there. We're on page number 62. If you want to keep along. Okay, it's how many bricks does it take to turn Moo? Okay, and that's what we're going to end with this week. And we'll go ahead and leave it at that. I hope y'all had a very safe and enjoyable Memorial Day. If you see a veteran, thank them for their service. And we'll see y'all next week.